Okay, hello everyone. Here we are with another excellent nonsense idea, this time by Andreas. So the idea on this one is you have to use a single faction, 5 games, and you have to play every single unit once. So like you can only play each unit once, but because there's 30 units in each faction, that means you end up playing all of them. I have actually created all 5 decks before starting, and you'll see them as we play. I'm playing this one first. It's absolutely horrible. But the reason we're doing this is we're just trying to get rid of as many tech units in the first game as possible. So our first deck is going to be absolutely terrible. It's just going to be double Harvester, try and defend with Rhino and Predator until we get to tech. And then we're also playing Solomon, which is the worst commander. So this is kind of like the garbage fire deck that is just exists to eat up some of the bad units so that our next decks can be a little bit more powerful. I think this is a really interesting idea from Andreas. A lot of people in my chat got really excited by this one. A lot of people are like, you know, trying to make their own builds of this. So yeah, I think it's a pretty exciting idea. And I'd be really interested to see what you guys think as well. For what the best 5 decks are that follow these stipulations. Alright, so we're going to open blind double Harvester, I think. Because our deck is just so expensive. We just need to get money as quickly as possible. And then we're going to open Rhino as our scout once we have 70 Tiberium. We'll wait for a little while, see if something turns up at my Harvester. It doesn't look like it so far, though. So we will make the Rhino and go and see what's up. He's probably also gone double Harvester because we haven't seen any units and nothing's touched the pads yet. Yeah, he has. So we'll go and park here. There's a Giga Cannon, interesting. I guess we'll make a Predator. If he doesn't block for the Giga, we can just drive up to it with the Predator and kill it. That's what we're going to try and do. Double Giga, oh my. Okay, that's pretty scary. Let's back up. Get our tech lab. Probably going to want to go Kodiak as quickly as possible here. Could also go Titan, but obviously Kodiak flies, so it's slightly better. What happened to that Giga? Did I shoot that with a Predator? Didn't even notice that if I did. Well, we'll drive in and finish it off here. And then we'll take out the other one with our Kodiak. Right, there's a stealth tank. That actually won't kill the Kodiak in one shot, but the Kodiak will kill it in one. Let's back up, and then let's get some zone troopers. Alright, well, looks like his whole deck is pretty weak to Kodiak, so that's cool. Alright, cool. Let's get the Kodiak on his base. Alright, I think the zone troopers should just finish off his base here. Alright, well, pretty easy first game. Managed to get rid of a lot of our garbage units. Andreas is saying that someone on Nukin's stream actually came up with this idea and he stole it, so Andreas doesn't get the credit. Alright, so that was our first deck. That was obviously a really bad deck. We're just getting rid of some bad units. So the second one I'm going to play, I think, is this one here, which is the MSV Juggernaut deck. Again, I just want to get this one out of the way because I think this deck is, like, pretty weak.
Establishing battlefield control.
This time we're going to be 1 Harvester.
3, 2, 1.
We're going to open with dogs, go and see what's up. Right, he's gone MG, so we're actually going to go second dogs before Harvester. Try and kill this before he sets up. Right, he then goes Harvester. We do kill the MG. And then I guess we'll make the MSV and try and get it into position. There's some shocks that won't do anything to our dogs. Get the MSV right in the middle of the map. And then I guess we'll go for a Pitbull. Pretty safe bet.
Unit lost.
Okay, he's made more shocks. I guess we go shatter after these missiles.
Nuclear warhead launched.
Obviously, we chose to play Liang since this is a fortress deck. There are 4 commanders, so obviously we have to use one commander twice. I've chosen to use Liang twice. I think Liang is the best commander at the moment. So this guy doesn't seem to be able to break our fortress at all. We see a war factory, so we'll get Semularis. And now we'll wait. Try and maybe set up a juggernaut if we have time.
Building online.
Guess we'll just move up and block this pad. There's a predator. Could kill that pretty easily. All right, and we do take the game pretty easily there.
Launched. You are victorious.
Alright, so for our third deck, let's take a look what we've got. So we've got a sniper sandstorm deck, which is okay. We've got a mammoth deck, which I think is pretty good. And we've got this weird MG Borka slingshot deck. I think we'll play this one next. This one doesn't really have a good opening unit. I think this is probably the weakest unit, the weakest deck in of the ones remaining. We're probably going to have to open with shock troopers, I guess. Which feels really bad as well because there's no anti-air in the barracks.
2, 1. New objective.
But that is the only reasonable. We could also open MG, but I think that's insane. So I think we're probably going to have to just go shock unit, shock trooper first unit. Is this an Orca bomber? It is. Yeah, this deck's pretty awkward as well. A lot of my decks have ended up being quite awkward due to the stipulations. Alright, so we're going to go shocks. See what he's up to. He's got militants. That's pretty good for us. Now, if we can get this... We can push forward a little bit here. And we can maybe set up an MG. See if we can get this MG set up. Then we probably want to be ready to build a slingshot. Here comes some chems. We should beat those with shocks plus MG.
Unit ready.
This is the other deck I chose to play Liang with because Liang MG is super broken. Oh, laser troops, okay. So we're going to push up to scout in case he goes air. I want to be able to build my slingshot quickly. Although really at this point I should just be saving for an APC. Alright, let's get an APC and put it in front of the MG. It's cat missiling my MG, wow, okay. Alright, MG down I guess. We'll just get a new one and replace it.
Launched.
Alright, there's some laser drones. Shouldn't be too big a deal, we'll just get the slingshot.
Unit ready.
Moving out. Firing.
Unit lost.
Anti-air.
Looks like he's going after my harvester.
Slingshot will bring them
But we'll just get the slingshot over there.
Warning. Enemy catalyst
Another cat missile,
incoming.
easily dodge.
Guns are loaded. Harvester.
And I'm gonna set up another MG.
Ready.
Slingshot loading out.
And we'll
Ready.
use a healing drone to keep the MGs alive.
Horizon. Ready for action.
I'm shooting this harvester for some reason. There's an avatar, that's pretty scary. I don't know if we can kill an avatar with MGs, I guess we'll find out. I guess it just doesn't matter. And we have Orca Bomber in the deck as well, so we were fine there. We could have just made double Orca Bomber.
Mission accomplished.
Apparently it was Axciton who came up with this idea, Fort Pace is saying. So credit to him. Alright, so we've got 2 decks left. We've got Mammoth, which I think is probably the best one. And we've got Sniper Slingshot. So I guess we'll play the Sniper Slingshot now.
Establishing battlefield control.
Oh, sorry, I said sniper slingshot. I meant sniper sandstorm.
New
My bad.
objective received.
Harvester here.
Yeah,
Building
this one I
online.
think is okay as a deck. It's got Talon and missiles as early anti-air, and then it has the Wolverine Sandstorm combo later on, and also Sniper Sandstorm, which is also a pretty good combo. So hopefully, I think we might need to we probably still need to go double harvester with this one
Ready.
at some point. But hopefully snipers give us enough early game that we don't need to go double harvester too early on. If we can win first missile then go double harvester, that would be ideal. Or if we could just get sandstorms off of one harvester, that would also be great. I think we will go double harvester here, just because he keeps throwing these rifles at my snipers. Which makes me think he's probably saving up for something. Another missile. Yeah, there's a Talon. Get the missiles in defensive positions. Right, so we do take out the Talon. Take out the rifles. Looks like we're going to win first missile. Feels good, man. Get our tech lab and try and get a sandstorm as quickly as possible.
Unit lost.
Go and check how many harvesters he has. Alright, so let's get a sandstorm to put in front of our snipers. Normally I'd play Liang with sandstorm, but obviously we've already used Liang twice, which is the maximum number of times. So we're on strong arm this time. Strong arm is good as well to block for snipers. Like, it gives you an additional way to block for snipers, so it's pretty good. Pretty good in sniper deck. Alright, let's just set up sandstorms everywhere now. Sandstorm sniper as much as we can. Mohawk shouldn't really beat a sandstorm, so that shouldn't be scary. Yeah, sandstorm absolutely annihilates all air. Alright, looks like we're in pretty good shape here. Get the sandstorm over on this Talon. Get another sandstorm. Alright, pretty easy, which means we're 4-1. 4-0, sorry. And we have one more game in which we get to play Mammoth, which I think is probably the best deck of the lot. Alright, so this is basically an air Mammoth deck, except obviously we couldn't use missiles because we've already used missiles. So Hammerhead is our only anti-air, which is a little awkward.
3, 2, 1. New objective available.
Marching orders received.
Then we'll put Harvester down here.
Ready to collect. Rifleman ready.
Alright, so wheels first. That's kind of awkward because jump jets don't trade very well with wheels.
I'm on it. Rifleman
I think we'll probably need a jump jet squad, but let's tank with the rifles if we can.
Move, move. JJ jumping. Report ready. Let's fly. Rifleman awaiting.
Alright, more wheels. So we want to go into air as quickly as possible here.
Building online.
Unit ready. Powering up.
Chemical buggy. Alright, that's awkward. Definitely want to go for Orca as quickly as possible.
Jump jet active.
Unit ready.
Let's hit and run.
Alright, so we do take out the chemical buggy and the wheels. Let's get some drones. Alright, nice. We do take the missile. And now we're going to go double harvester and just get our Mammoth out as quickly as we can.
Unit lost.
Don't want to drive into these bikes. Can we just make another Orca here? There's a Banshee, that's unfortunate.
Ready for action. Let's Walker ready for attack run. Moving out. We've got awaiting. Ready for action. Clear. Walker, I'm on it.
So we're probably going to Hammerhead here.
Unit lost.
Missile ready. Walker ready for attack run. We've got the missile. Let's hit. Right, moving out. Hammerhead circling.
Building online.
Alright, well, now we just try and use Hammerhead and Orca to kill everything. He doesn't seem to have any infantry in his deck, which makes it a lot easier to win with Hammerhead Orca.
I'll hammer them. Missile fry.
Very odd deck to not have any. It looks like we're going to win just without even making the Mammoth. Alright, and that is why you need to play infantry in your deck, my dudes, because otherwise that happens. Well, there you go. 5-0.
Objective complete.
5-0 with the weird challenge of creating different decks using every single unit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty cool challenge, I think. I spent a lot of time on the theory crafting on this one because obviously building the decks is so complicated. If you guys think you have a better set of decks that uses every unit, then yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments. All right, here we are with a bonus to this to the event. We are going to play against Suzaku. Has done exactly the same thing. He's also made 4 decks with using each unit once. So me and Suzaku played through our decks, and let's take a look. So obviously this game opens up and I go Dog Scout. Suzaku goes for rifles into immediate jump jets, I guess to try and rush my harvester. So jump jets are pretty weak right now. As you can see, I'm able to easily hold them off with just 2 dog squadrons. So I move my dogs up. I'm careful to keep them together to keep my to fight the jump jets effectively. Suzaku goes into his harvester here. So I make Shatterer because Suzaku only has infantry. This is of course my MSV Fortress deck against Suzaku's got some kind of like APC 2 air Wolverine deck. I don't know what's going on with his deck. So Suzaku realizes he can't beat the Shatterer without his without an Orca, so he has to concede this first missile because he simply doesn't have the money to fight. So he gives up on the first missile, goes into Orca. I make MSV to get it set up. I see the Orca coming, so I pull my MSV away. I don't want to lose that. Let the Shatterer die. That's just, you know, you're going to lose something. Get a Pitbull to fight his Orca. I move my Pitbull in and get a single shot. I'm able to pull it back before the Orca reloads and turns. Orca goes towards my Harvester. I see he's going to go for my Harvester, so what I do is I Liang Drone and send my boosted Orca to harass the boosted Pitbull to harass his Orca some more. And then I basically just looking to make Pitbulls against his Orcas and Shatterers against his jump jets. So I think given how strong Orca is against my deck, Suzaku actually made a misplay here. What he should have done, I think, is gone double Harvester and just made infinite Orcas. Because if he can trade Orca for my units at a 1-to-1 ratio, I'm going to end up losing on cost. Or if he has double Harvester. But instead, he tries to make jump jets and mixes it up between jump jets and Orcas. And I'm able to make just Shatterer and Pitbull and take care of all of his units. So here I hold my fortress for a second to try and heal it up a bit. And then I realize I need to end the game quickly, so I push forward to take the pads. I let that Pitbull go because I need his Orca to be reloading. And then I move in with another Pitbull. The boosted Pitbull kills his Orca, and I flip the missile with my Liang Drone. Alright, and the score 1-0 to Blade currently.
Battlefield control.
So here we are with the second game, Blade versus Suzaku in the weird play every unit challenge. So this time I'm playing Strong Arm and Suzaku is on one of his Liang decks. So Suzaku is now on Fortress, which I believe is exactly the same as my Fortress deck was. I'm playing Sniper Sandstorm, which I think is a pretty decent deck, honestly. Obviously, like, this isn't how I'd build a Sniper Sandstorm deck. Normally I'd play Pitbull and Dogs, but I wanted to save those units for other decks. So I end up playing Wolverine Sandstorm and Talon Mohawk as my mid-game. I think mid-game air is pretty good when you're planning to go double Harvester. It's pretty common these days. So he opens Dogs, I open Missiles. I make some more Missiles to fight his Dogs. I see a Shatterer coming. So what I do is I pull back and I try and get defensive Missiles. So here I'm trying to set up 2v1 Missiles against the Shatterer. He's trying to avoid that happening, that's why he moves the Shatterer. I don't manage to get my Missiles back into position thanks to the stun, so he does kill both my Missiles. Then I go double Harvester, which he sees, and he goes after it with an MLRS. As soon as I see the MLRS, I make my air tower with a plan to go into Mohawk, and I pull my Harvester away so that he can't kill it. And then there is the Mohawk. I go towards the pads to force him to react, and then I go straight after the MLRS. So here I think Suzaku makes a small misplay. He tries to move his MLRS away, but it doesn't get away, but it would have reloaded and killed my Harvester if he hadn't moved it. So I think that was a misplay. He could have probably got the Harvester there. Then he tries to finish my Harvester with Dogs, which the Harvester is so low the Dogs would have finished it, so I take them out with the Mohawk. Suzaku responds with slingshot to try and kill my Mohawk, so I make Missile Troopers to support, and then I'm just trying to go to tech here. So I don't make any units for a while. I managed to get my Mohawk to take down his slingshot here because it was damaged by the Missile Troopers. And then I make a Sandstorm. So I move my Sandstorm up. What I do here, I don't move into the Dogs because I know there's an MLRS behind them. So what I do is I wait with Missile Troopers until they can eat the first shot from the MLRS. Then I move in, clean up the Dogs with the Sandstorm, and then I just push immediately onto his MLRS. which only gets one shot against my sandstorm before dying. And then as you can see, I just take over control of the map here. I block him on all pads. My sandstorm is capable of taking down 2 MLRS here quite easily. And yeah, at this point, I'm in pretty good control of the game. He has no board presence. He never managed to get the MSV out, and I have 2 sandstorms. So I move towards his base. And I think he surrenders here. Yeah, no, he surrenders. He realizes he can't come back, so he surrenders. Okay, so here's game 3, Blade versus Suzaku. In the, I guess we'll call it the Axciton challenge, because that's the guy who made it. So here he's playing Solomon, I'm playing Jackson. This is my Mammoth deck. So this isn't quite Air Mammoth, because I should be playing missiles instead of jump jets. But I have missiles in a different deck, so I'm playing jump jets instead. And Suzaku is playing a Sandstorm Disruptor deck, which is triple War Factory. So he opens Rhino, I open Rifles. I'm looking to just make my second harvester as quickly as possible here. So I'm just dancing back and forth. What I'm trying to do is keep his Rhino away from my Tiberium so he can't block. And then here I use my Rifles to block the Tiberium to make sure both my harvesters get onto the Tiberium and he can't block them with the Rhino. So now that we're at double harvester point, all I'm trying to do is stall the pads. So as you can see, I'm not moving onto the pad until he does, and then I move on. And then when he chases me, I walk off the pad to keep them stalled. So Suzaku also goes double harvester. As you can see, he's now charging, so I go to stall again. I make an Orca to fight this Rhino. I get a couple of missiles off, and I see a Pitbull with my rifles. I know that I can't kill a Pitbull with 2 missiles, so what I do here is I'm just trying to keep my Orca back until it reloads. I wait for it to reload, and I kill the Pitbull immediately. So then, obviously, my rifles die, but that's not a big deal. I just wanted them to tank for the Orca for a little while. Now I make jump jets for his Pitbull. So I go in, I kill the Rhino this time, because I know that I have jump jets for the Pitbull. Kill off the Pitbull with the jump jets. Send the Orca to his back pad for the Pitbull. And drone swarm to the top. Oh, no, isn't... sorry, I moved the Orca in a second. Yeah, here I move the Orca to kill the Pitbull. And I have drones on the top pad, and I send jump jets to harass his harvester. So it looks like I'm going to lose a missile here, so I boost an Orca to get there in time. Suzaku realizes his shots are going to die, moves off the pad, and ends up losing that missile. And I kill a harvester there. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good, because I'm about to get my Mammoth out, and I've won a missile. Here is the Mammoth. So I'm not really sure what Suzaku can do at this point. I'm mostly worried about Orca Bomber from him. We've already seen Orca in a previous game, so we know he's not going to make Orcas. But I'm worried about either his own Mammoth or Orca Bomber. So I go directly for his harvesters. If it's a Mammoth mirror, getting the harvester kill means that I can make more Mammoths, which is super important. And then he goes after my harvesters as well. So I'm sending my Orcas to defend that, whilst my Mammoth takes out his harvester. The Iron Cannon's my Mammoth, which is fine for me. I don't really care. As you can see, I've got almost 300 Tiberium. I can just make another one. And then I just pressure him off the map with the Mammoth. This is what you should do with Mammoth decks. Once you've taken control of the map, you just push them off of the map completely. And Suzaku realizes he can't win and surrenders. There you go, guys. 3-0 to me currently in the deck challenge. Alright, so here is the 4th game, Blade versus Suzaku. We're both playing our second Liang. Both of us believe Liang to be the most powerful commander, so that's one we've chosen to play twice. And this time we're both playing an MG deck. So my MG deck is... My deck's a little weak. This is getting towards the end of my decks. So yeah, my decks were getting pretty weak at this point. So I'm playing an MG, Shock, Gren, Slingshot, APC, Borka deck. The thoughts behind this deck was Slingshot MG should be able to beat almost everything, because MG is kind of broken with Liang. And then anything that can break that, I have Borka for. And I think Suzaku's gone for a similar plan. He's figured he can make MG Liang with Borka, and then he's decided to play Air as his support. Probably because the traditional Air Mammoth deck is pretty strong. Unfortunately for Suzaku, this game he is playing 4 Air units, and I happen to be playing my Slingshot deck. So yeah, not the best outcome for Suzaku here. So I don't move my shocks into his MG. I'm not sure if I would have won there if I did, but maybe I could have. But I didn't try, so maybe that was a risk. So obviously he sends drones in. The drones annihilate my units completely. I don't have time for a Slingshot here. He moves his MG up. I pull back because I don't want to take the shots, and I want to stall this missile. So I move on to the pad. I see him moving in with 2 MGs, so I make another shock trooper, and I just push. I push super hard on these MGs. I think Suzaku doesn't know how MGs work, really. I think he hasn't played them very often. I don't think he realized how badly shock troopers were going to annihilate them. Like, shock troopers 3-shot an MG squad. So here he goes Borka to clean me up, which is fine. Like, I just let it happen. Get some damage with my slingshot. There's not what I can do to stop it. And then I just start making slingshots. I know I need 2 slingshots for a Borka, so that's what I do. I make 2 slingshots. And then I send my grenadiers towards his harvester. He defends with the drone swarm, but he knows I have 2 slingshots, so he goes double Borka. I just let them fight. There's no point trying to move against Borkas. They'll just run you down. So I kill one Borka, lose both my slingshots, but even then, the Borka costs more than 2 slingshots. So I'm still ahead in Tiberium on the trade. So I go double slingshot again. At this point, it's pretty obvious that his deck is mostly air. So I'm happy just to make tons of slingshots. And 2 defensive slingshots here can kill the Borka without even losing a slingshot. So I just go for a 3rd slingshot. At this point, it's obvious that his deck is almost all air. He realizes that he needs to do something else, so he goes double MG. I also make an MG to push up. And I block his MGs from getting onto the pads, realizing that I have... he doesn't have time to get back on these pads. And I use the Angron to steal. And yeah, as you can see, the slingshots take care of the drone swarm, and he can't get back on the pads in time. So there you go. 4-0 to me against Suzaku. One more game to go. Alright, so here is the last game of me versus Suzaku in the Axciton challenge. As you can see, my deck is it's a complete dumpster fire here. This is my absolute garbage deck that I built purely to avoid having to play bad units in other decks. So it's just 4 tech, Rhino Predator. It's a pretty horrible deck. The idea behind this deck is that you should be able to hopefully use Rhino to defend your double harvester in the early game and then just get to tech. Unfortunately, this is the one deck where Suzaku has decided to play missiles and grenadiers. So he opens missiles, pushes my blind double harvester start, immediately goes grenadiers, which my deck has no outs to. As you can see, the first unit in my deck that can beat a grenadier is Disruptor, which is going to cost me 240 Tiberium. I currently have 60, and his grenadiers are on my harvester. So pretty hard countered on this one. He's playing Jackson as well, so the grenadiers absolutely chew through my harvesters. As you can see, I'm miles away from a Disruptor. A second Gren squad arrives. There's no way I can defend my harvesters. No way I can defend the base. Can't come close to affording the Disruptor I need. So yeah, I think we basically just get hard countered on this one by deck. This deck was obviously terrible, but yeah. I built this one to try and get rid of bad units. And as you can see, I'm trying to save for a Disruptor, but I'm at 70 Tiberium, and yeah, here comes a Kodiak. So yeah, we get absolutely hard counted here. And yeah, not much to say. My deck can't beat a Grenadier, and it definitely can't beat Kodiak once we get to this stage of the game. So 4-1 for me, and I guess that means I earn the title of Master Deck Builder, while Suzaku sadly can only hope to be my disciple. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that little bonus bit at the end there, and I'll catch you all next time.